picture-in-picture, once again, Enrique Cruz Jr., my VP, vice president since the first time that we got to talk with each other, Kansas Jayhawk, and somebody who came out of the NFL Combine as one of the top-performing overall offensive linemen in the entire nation. And there are thousands of offensive linemen that want to hear their name called in the 2026 NFL Draft. One of the best to showcase himself at the Combine, Enrique Cruz Jr., who joins us here today ahead of the draft, which is less than a month away here at the end of this month, as we're here on April 6th. It'll be on April 23rd that we will start the draft. Enrique, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Happy to have you. So, and the different hairstyles that we've had for you. Now we got the short hair, but we got like the goatee beard going on. Bring me into the style you got going.
Yeah, I want to go for a little bit more of a mature look. So
Okay.
cut off the hair, got the goatee beard going on. This hairstyle back at home is called the Ricky, because this is like my dad's like famous haircut he's been getting since he was like 7 years old. He's like 40 now, so like everybody knows it as the Ricky over there.
Awesome. I like it. The Ricky. Good stuff. So happy to be here with Enrique Cruz Jr. as we get set for the upcoming 2026 NFL Draft. Enrique, coming off of the NFL Combine, looking at some of your numbers here, top 7 in multiple categories, top 2 in a bunch of categories as well. Bring me into, now that you've had some time to reflect on it, what you took away from the Combine and the fact that you were rising to the top of the chart when it came to the overall offensive lineman performances at the NFL Combine.
The combine was a great experience. I enjoyed it. Definitely learned a lot, met a lot of the guys on other teams, a lot of cool people I met over there, and then really just wanted to perform, wanted to showcase my ability, everything I could do. I always knew I was athletic, and I always wanted to showcase it on the big stage.
Yeah, I mean, you getting out there and doing what you did at the NFL Combine. I mean, when we look at preparation that, you went into, just go into that a little bit deeper, just where you've been working, who you've been working with, and what you feel has really helped prepare you for the Combine and for the draft.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think the people I'm working with are really good. I feel like some of the best in the business. I was working at a Velocity Athlete Development in Canton, Georgia. They knew everything that they knew what they were doing, and they worked specifically with just O line and D linemen. So everything we're doing was just specific for us. So, we're not like receivers, so like we really don't do like super track workouts, but we do a lot of stuff that helps improve every event, and they're really good.
Yeah, I mean, and we look at your performance, as you said, working out in Georgia and getting ready for the NFL Combine. We go back to your numbers from the Combine, and you were tied for 5th best time amongst all offensive linemen in the 40-yard dash, running under a 5 flat at 4.94. Your thoughts about the 40 and just what you were able to do there? I mean, wait, listen, linemen are big old dudes, man, but you got that 4 something, which I'm very excited for you.
It's actually pretty funny. A lot of my friends were mad at me because I thought I could run faster than that. So definitely it's a great time, and I thought I could do a little better than that. But yeah, no, it was definitely was a pretty good time.
Yeah, no, I mean, and it's been it's been awesome, right? To just go through this. I mean, Enrique, listen, we could talk about the numbers, and we will talk about some numbers, but we got to be real. I mean, you and I've known each other for a really long time. I am so excited for you. Like
Thank you.
this is an amazing moment. To me, you're a big kid, I'm a big kid. I get to see my little brother go to the NFL. That's what I'm looking at right now. So when you put all these numbers in a pot, you put everything together, let's just be real about this. Is this not one of the coolest things ever, or the coolest thing ever that you've gotten to do is prepare for this upcoming moment in a few weeks?
No, yeah, it definitely is. I mean, I feel like I haven't really fully embraced the feeling yet. I just feel like I just want to figure out what team I'm about to go on and just fully think about it. But right now, I'm just trying to go day by day. But it definitely is an amazing film.
Yeah. And you know what? It's funny because when you and I talk, we'll have conversations, but man, a few words sometimes when we're going back and forth in the interview conversation. Have you always been that way? I mean, I've known you for a long time, but have you always kind of been like, here's my thought, It's a sentence or two. That's all I got for you.
Yeah, I don't really like to boast about myself too much. So I like to keep it humble. So like I don't really like to basically just like hype myself up. I always prefer when other people do that, as I feel like it means more when other people do. When you do it, it doesn't really mean too much. It sounds like, 'cause, a lot of people talk without action, but when
Yep.
other people speak, hype you up, that actually means something.
So let me hype you up, and then we could talk about other things. So I'm gonna do this here. I'm gonna hype you up. 4.94 in the 40-yard dash as an offensive lineman, tied for fifth best time amongst all offensive linemen. And if those of you don't know about the NFL Combine, of all the offensive linemen, hundreds and hundreds, thousands of offensive linemen around the country, there's only like 40 to 50 that get invited to the NFL Combine. So that's a small number. And then to be in the top five of that number, that's even greater and even more of an accomplishment for Enrique Cruz to have a 4.94 tied for fifth. His top speed in the 40-yard dash was the fastest amongst all offensive linemen in the 2026 NFL Combine at 20.69 miles per hour. Okay. If he was driving through a school zone, they would have said, hey, you almost have to slow down. If he was running through a school zone, I should say, not driving through a school zone. And then we look at some other things that we got here. The vertical 35 inches was second amongst all offensive linemen at the Combine. The broad jump at 9 feet 8 inches was second amongst all offensive linemen at the Combine. And then the athleticism score overall of 90 was fourth amongst offensive tackles. So, like you said, you don't like to talk about yourself and you don't like to boast about yourself, which I totally understand and I respect. And it's one of the things I love about you, and because you're just a good human being. But that's a lot of good, Enrique, and I'm sure that it has helped you with these NFL relationships and conversations.
Oh yeah, no, it definitely does. A lot of people always speak about it.
So, how'd your family react to it? Because, I mean, you got the SyraCruz tailgate, which just told me that they're watching and listening, and they're here with
And
us
shout
this
out to
morning.
SyraCruz tailgate.
Yeah, so the best tailgate. My SyraCruz t-shirt, like, we have all the things. Like, I was a part of the SyraCruz tailgate because I got to shout out, you're my, I got to say this. And I know I've said it before, but I'm going to try and paint the picture a little bit more. Your mom, when you show up at the SyraCruz tailgate, she sees me and it's not "What's up, Dan?" It's "What's up, wake up call?" And I think the last time she handed me her homemade sangria, she danced it to me. So mom brings it over. I think, no, dad met me. He met me with the sangria and a shot. And he's like, DT. So, I mean, the tailgates, which I miss because nothing's been the same. Because, those of you that know, I have Hispanic blood. And then, of course, also with Hispanic blood is my VP next to me on the screen here because he's Puerto Rican. And so I'm not Puerto Rican descent, but I've always said that being around the culture, it does something to me. Like, being Italian, there's a lot of family culture. And then being Hispanic and just like loving the culture in and of itself, there's a pull. So I feel like when I'm around like Puerto Rican culture, it just kind of engulfs you. It brings you in and it makes you feel some kind of way about family and just feeling like you're in a place where you're loved and appreciated. So I know it's long-winded, but I want you to describe the SyraCruz tailgate because it made me feel right at home. And I've never been drunk. I don't drink that much, but the most I've ever drank is when I'm with the Cruz family.
No, no, I do miss the tailgate as well. I miss doing the videos for the tailgate. Everybody I met at the tailgate, they're all amazing people. And unfortunately, I actually was never able to participate in the tailgate because I was always planning.
Yeah, yeah.
That's one thing I really wish. I wish I was able to go to one of the tailgates. I heard the food was fire. Like a lot of my friends will go like from other teams or like just my friends who didn't play sports, and they always tell me the food is fire, the vibes were amazing, and crazy Puerto Ricans. Once Puerto Ricans over there, it's always everybody's gonna get drunk. But shout out to the tailgate. It was definitely amazing when we had it.
Your family tried to make me the first broadcaster to be hanging from the press box with my hands on the press box with no shirt on. That's what I told your parents. I said, this is what's going to happen. And I said, hey, listen, if it happens with the Cruz family, it happens. But like you said, you didn't get to partake because hours before the game, you're on the field, right? You're preparing,
Yeah.
you're doing your thing, you're getting in your vibes and getting in the groove and all that. But to know how your family showed up for you, just what that's meant to look out in the stands and see the Puerto Rican flag, to know that they brought it to different places, to know that they brought the culture, they brought the love for you. I mean, it's not, and you could tell me if I'm wrong, but I feel like your family didn't only represent Cruz, they represented Puerto Rico, pride, and just saying like, don't forget your roots and don't forget where you came from. Do you feel that when they would come out to games?
Oh yeah, 100%. No, that's what I know where I am. I'll never forget my roots. Never forget about Chicago. Never forget about being Puerto Rican. And we don't just represent like the Cruz family because I am a Cruz and my dad's side is Cruz, but we also represent like the Pagan family, the Torres family, and so forth, so forth. So
Yeah.
we just it just indicates show like how close we are as a family on both sides of my family because everybody just come represent who we are and just just come and support. And I really did appreciate it.
Yeah. Could you ever hear them? Did you hear them at the combine? Have you been anywhere where you've heard them? Like even Kansas Pro Day?
No, so here's a funny story. So whenever my uncle will come to games, my uncle was one. He's one of those guys where like during halftime or like a timeout, he's gonna leave. And he's gonna like check the area. So he's gonna try to find a way to come closer to where I'm at. And every time he's always successful. He always meets somebody who's like, "Yo, here you could take my seat or whatever." And the first time he went to a game. I wasn't even playing yet, really. And I'm over here trying to listen to what coach is talking about. He's behind me. They call me Ricky. He's like, Ricky, literally right behind me in Syracuse. Like, the O line's right here. You can almost touch us how close the sideline is.
Yeah.
And he's just yelling my name. He's like, Ricky, Ricky, Ricky with a video. Ricky just yelling my name. I turn around and it's him. And I wave at him. And he's still going. He's like, Ricky, like, come on, what's up, what's up? And it's the middle of the game. I'm like, give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. He always found a way to get close because he got the family seats. I don't know where the family was set at, but he always find a way, even at Kansas, to get right next to where I'm at and get the perfect video.
Yeah. So I mean, I can tell you that I know where your family sat because where I was for the press box at Syracuse, they were always like down and to the right. So like they would turn and wave, like your stepdad, your mom, they turn wave to me, and your brother and whatnot. And then like I mean the whole family would be like, if one of them waved, they'd all turn and like they give you. But then you'd see them creep like you were talking about. Like I'm seeing them here, and I'm like, that's their section. That's where the families sit. And then all of a sudden, they're down toward the sideline. So I know exactly what you're talking about because I'm like, how did they get down there? But they just always found a way, Enrique. They always
Always
did.
did.
Yeah.
And then even at the combine, so at the combine, Indiana is about like a 2-3 hour drive from us. So I had about approximately about like 50 people come to the combine. And beforehand, like all my people were telling me, I didn't know if it was true or not, but like all my people who were training, they're like, yeah, like it's supposed to be really quiet, like you're not supposed to cheer. But every time that I'll go, I'll start hearing yelling, oh, it was my whole family. My whole family was damn near took up the whole stands. It was pretty amazing.
If you tell Puerto Ricans not to cheer, I think they just hear louder. So like they go, "What? You don't want to hear us?" Okay. So like I don't think there's ever been a time where I've heard somebody go, "Hey, excuse me, you have to be a little bit quieter," and that Puerto Rican culture was like, "Okay." Well, I don't know. I mean, is there a Puerto Rican whisper, Enrique? I don't think there's such thing as a Puerto Rican whisper.
There is our whisper just means yelling.
Enrique Cruz Jr., 2026 NFL draft prospect at the offensive line position, coming to us from the Kansas Jayhawks, and before that from the Syracuse Orange. Enrique, this road that you've taken, and Brendan's here with us with DT and Murphy still, so Brendan will ask a question here in a second, but the road that you took, we talked about it a little bit here. Hindsight 2020, with everything that's happened up till now, how do you reflect going a little bit deeper in your road now that we've done the combine, we're getting ready for the draft, we've done pro day? When you reflect on I went to Syracuse, I went in the portal, I went to Kansas, now I'm here. What can you say about your decision making and the journey that you've taken that God has led you on?
Honestly, I feel like it's all God's plan. I feel like it worked. It worked its way out perfectly. I feel like there definitely was a lot of hard times. It definitely wasn't easy. It was a lot of ups and downs, a lot of spots where I had to pick myself back up and I had to keep myself up. And I just feel like it was just God trying to teach me a lesson and just trying to prepare me for the next journey. He says a lot of people say like before God prepares you to elevate, He's gonna put you through something so you can personally evolve into the next chapter in your life. So I feel like it's really just been His plan, and I'm just thankful that He's allowed me to do just to be here and just to do stuff like this.
Yeah. I mean, like you said, he challenges you before he elevates you. He wants to make sure you're ready. Sometimes you think you grew, and he'll throw you a test that you failed a million times just to make sure that you're going to pass it again.
Yeah, 100 has happened to me many times.
Do you have a time recently in this journey where you felt like you're looking at God going, "All right, I've grown as a man, I've grown as a player. I think I'm here. I think I got it. I'm ready for the next step." And then he just checked you for a second and was like, "I'm going to give you something, Enrique, just to make sure." Do you have one of those stories recently?
As of recent, it'll probably be like when I finish the season. No, when I finished the season, I wasn't really. I mean, yeah, like I finished the season. I had a pretty good season, but like I wasn't really. I didn't really get too many phone calls for like bowl games, like the senior bowl games and stuff like that. So I was like kind of like damn, like what's happening? Like why am I not getting getting into stuff? But I just had to put my trust in it, put my faith in it, and thankfully I had got invited to the American Bowl, and then everything worked itself out after that.
Yeah. And like you said, you got invited to the American Bowl to share just what that experience was like and what you took away from it, how that helped you maybe to network with the NFL.
Oh, it was a great experience. It was definitely an experience that I needed. Just because not just in the practices, because I feel like I had a pretty good practice over there, and it was a really fun experience. Actually, I had a blast at the American Bowl. But just talking to coaches and talking to scouts. It was my first time actually talking to scouts, and I was pretty nervous, but it kind of prepared me to learn how to talk to scouts, learn how to articulate what I know about football, also use my personality while I'm talking to them. So now that like when I'm on phone calls with coaches or like I'm on Zooms, I'm able to just speak well and not be nervous.
Yeah. Yeah. Enrique Cruz Jr. here with us talking this morning ahead of the draft and excited for the opportunities that are to come. Murph is here with us. DT and Murphy is how we start off Wake Up Call every week with Brendan Murphy. So, Brendan, if you have a question for Enrique, fire one ready.
Yeah, man. What's how's it going, Enrique? Congratulations on all your success in college, and obviously hoping the best for you coming up in the draft. But obviously something that with offensive linemen that's like the most important thing you could be is athletic, and you kind of proved it at the combine with your athleticism. Running a sub 5.40 for an offensive lineman is definitely very, very, very good. Um, so being someone that's athletic as an offensive lineman, is there maybe a particular player that you look at that maybe you model your game after? And then, to expand on that, who's a guy that you're most excited to go up against to protect your quarterback?
Oh, okay. I'm doing well, thank you. I hope you're doing good too. And I got two players. So like, Matthew Bergeron, I played with Matthew Bergeron and I seen what it took for him to get where he's at right now. So I definitely watched a lot of his film and things like that. I feel like he's a really good player and his attitude is really what got him there as well. And I would say Matthew Bergeron, not just because he's like a big brother to me and he's taught me a lot, but just as I've seen everything he's done to get where he's at. And Tristan Wirfs, I feel like he's been one of my favorite offensive linemen ever since he came out. What would it be in 2020 or 2019? I forgot when it was. 2020, 2019. I was actually at the Iowa Junior Day during his combine, and they were all like, "Yo, like look at this guy. This guy's a freaking nature." And then Honestly, I mean, going against anybody, I mean, going against the best, I feel like just a cool opportunity, and then just to showcase my ability and just to see what the difference is between the NFL and college.
And keep in mind, Enrique, all combine team. So we talk about your performance in the NFL. The NFL posted this themselves. The all combine offensive and defensive teams. There's only two offensive linemen marked down as offensive guards that made the all combine offensive team, and you are there as one of those two. Quarterback Garrett Nussmeier, running back Jeremiah Love, and Jadarian Price, as well as Mike Washington Jr. from CNS in Central New York. And then wide receivers Zachariah Branch, Jacoby Lane, and Xavier Thomas. Tight ends Kenyon Sadiq and John Michael Gillenborg, as well as offensive tackle Max Ian Hencor. Forgive me if I get that wrong. So Max and offensive tackle
Arizona State.
What'd you say?
He's from Arizona State, right?
Yeah. So
Yeah,
and then
he was cool.
Spencer as well at offensive tackle, and then we have Oli for offensive guard as well as you, and then Logan Jones at center, who made the All Combine team. Enrique, for you to make the All Combine team, to see the NFL put this out here this season, I mean, that's insane. That's like saying here, these are our all stars from the combine. Your
Oh yeah,
thoughts?
they definitely. I just feel like I just feel like the ability was always there. I feel like I was very confident in myself and what I could do.
Well, I mean, you're agile. You can move. Like when you look at your body and what you've done with your body, and I know you put up a picture here recently, like what you've done to evolve your body, evolve what you. I mean, we're watching an offensive lineman, but I'm also watching a guy who can jump, and who can do the broad jump, who can do the vertical jump. I'm watching a guy who is showing what he can do to move himself with speed wise, top speed wise, and all these things. Like, bring me into that. I mean, we see offensive linemen, and you normally think big old dude that's got 300 pounds on him that can move some guys, but not typically fast, not typically as agile, not going to jump as high. I mean, I'm watching things that you've done and different things that they've asked you to do as far as, kind of looking at you at the combine and saying, okay, we're going to break you down by these measurements and whatnot. You don't, like, it's like you're an offensive lineman, but you also look like you don't fit, like you fit it. I want to say it the right way. You're an offensive lineman, but you look like you have all these other tools in the tool shed that other offensive linemen you don't typically see. What did you do to get your body ready to be someone who is so agile, versatile, fast? There's a lot of elements to your game, what I'm trying to say, that go beyond what you typically think of for an offensive lineman.
I just feel like, well, for the combine, it was just the preparation that I did for the combine. Like I said, I had an amazing team behind me. Shout out Velocity. They're really good. They definitely know what they're doing. I mean, this is not the first time they had somebody show up like this. They always have people who always have good numbers, and they're really really good at what they do. But I just feel like also it's like that's just been me for my whole career. I feel like I've always been a really athletic offense. Like growing up. You could ask my dad this. You could call him up. I'll call him up right now. He'll tell you one thing. He's like, he's a tight end. That's he'll always tell you that. He was actually mad that they put me at left tackle in high school. He's like, you need to be a tight end. But it was just I feel like it was something I was always able to do. I feel like it really started when growing up, my mom never she like always had to work, so she wasn't able to take me to practice in the summer, because during the season you're at school already. So I used to have to ride my bike everywhere. So now I'm riding my bike like 10 miles a day, and that's like five there, five back. So like that's really when it started because I used to be like slow and chubby until one summer I rode my bike every day, and I just became I was skinny, I was faster. And then ever since then, it just kept on evolving.
How do you balance the two? How do you stay, big, muscle, hard to move around, but then bring all those other elements into it, right? How do you keep one, like, how do you add another element without giving up another? You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you
I feel
bring
like
it all together?
It's just the preparation. So the preparation for the combine was basically just all the combine drills. Well, now my preparation is more so it's more football training. So it's more strength training, more speed, agility training, not necessarily like 40 training, but just more position specific workouts while also training position specific stuff. So that's really kind of how you add it in together. You just you work out the stuff you need to work out, and also keep the stuff that you already have and just make it better.
So for you, like you said, I mean, now you're transitioning into other things and other focuses. Where have you seen yourself evolve the most? When you look at playing on the offensive line, what things are you working on ahead of the draft right now that you can really say, this is where I was and I feel like I've elevated that?
Basically just being better at multiple positions. My whole career I've only played tackle, and now I practice a lot of practicing a lot of the 3-point stands, just in case I gotta go to guard. So just see myself improve a lot at being able to plug in at different positions in the offensive line.
So for you, they had you marked down on the all combine team as a guard. When you talk to the NFL scouts, is it guard? Is it tackle? Is it we just want you on the line and we'll put you where we got to put you? What has the conversation been like?
A lot of it is tackle because I played tackle. Sometimes it's guard, but I mean, my mindset is I just want to play. I just want to touch the field. So I always tell my coach like, I want to play. I want to touch the field. Like I'm ready for whatever you want to throw at me.
I do have some thoughts about the interview side of things because you got to be in front of the entire NFL with all 32 teams at the combine. But before that, I'll head back to Murph. Murph, what's your next question for Enrique Cruz Jr.?
I think a lot of it kind of comes back to what you just said about what you guys just talked about with versatility and everything. Um, being somebody that can play four positions on the offensive line is something that is really valuable to a team. And you kind of mentioned that you just want to get out there and do whatever the team can do. What kind of steps have you been taking to make sure that they be able to play those all four spots on the lines?
It's just in my preparation, working out, like doing my online workouts, just working out not just at one side, working out at both sides, and also doing it from different positions. So like tackle is usually in a 2-point stance. So I'm doing like a pass set out of a 2-point stance, and then after I do so many out of 2-point stands, make sure I do it out of 3-point stands, and then also switch my stagger. So now I'm working on both sides, and then the same thing for the run game.
Yeah, I mean, do you find left side, right side? Do you find that it matters to you? I mean, obviously you're being the opposite image of yourself, right? If you're on the left side or the right side, you're doing the similar technique, but you just got to flip course, so to speak. Do you find that there's one side that feels more comfortable?
Well, I think it just depends the side that you play most. So, I mean, if you ask me early in my career, I'll tell you the left side because I started out as a left tackle. But if you were to ask me now, I'd probably tell you the right side just because I just played a whole season on the right side. So I just feel like it just depends on wherever you play the most. But I mean, as me working out right now, I can tell you it's pretty much the same on both sides. I've been working out both sides quite evenly.
Got a message that came in here. Mark Capello said this. Great
Shout out
visit
Mark.
with Great visit with Enrique today. So excited for him and the family. Thinking back to my first meeting with him and Chris Elmore when we built out our NIL program. Rhino said Enrique had the best feet of any lineman he ever saw. Hated to see him leave Cuse, but thrilled for where it brought him. By the way, Tailgate is still alive and well, and back to our fine mess branding. Please stop by and say hello in the fall. So that's anything you want to say to Mark and the crew?
Hey, shout out Mark, shout out SyraCruz Tailgate. I miss you guys.
So, Enrique, 32 NFL teams. There's a portion of the combine that we don't see, which is the interview portion. Did you get to speak with every team?
At the combine, I spoke about probably 15 teams.
Okay. What was that like? Bring me in to kind of paint the picture. Are these like 10-minute, 20-minute, 5-minute conversations? Was it more with some, less with others? How were your interactions with pretty much half the NFL? How did they kind of go as far as duration or what was talked about?
Yeah, so it just depends. There's two different types of interviews. You have a formal interview and you have informals. A formal interview is mostly like more serious, talking about football. They're gonna ask you questions. You're gonna have the head coach in there, the GM in there, all position coaches in there, and like a bunch of the other staff. So I had one formal interview with the Lions, and that one was just like a little bit more serious. So you're being
Yeah.
recorded, and you're in one of the suites, and they're basically like kind of questioning you while you're in the suite, or you're just there by yourself in the suite, and it's just like all these people, and they're not talking at all. They're gonna ask you a question, and then they're gonna just look at you while you answer the question. You're gonna talk a little bit of ball, and they're gonna show you film. They want you to talk about your film, also talk about whatever player they're trying to teach you, and you basically it's just like one interview where there's like you ever like did an interview like or in college where they told you like yeah you're gonna interview and it's just gonna be like 20 people in the room and there's gonna be looking at you asking you questions like it's kind of like that, and then you have the informal ones where it's not necessarily as serious as that. They're all serious, but the informal ones can range from talking ball to taking a test to you're just shooting the stuff with them, just talking with them, just joking around with them. They're trying to see how your personality is. They're trying to see how you work under pressure with a test, or they're gonna try talking to you, and then at the end they're gonna try to quiz you on football.
So for you, how did you handle the formal? How did you handle there's just a room full of people staring at you trying to catch you on something? How was that experience?
I was actually really nervous at first. I was pretty nervous at first, but then this is one of those things that you get better as you do it. So
Yeah.
I had a really good team at Velocity, and we kind of mimicked the formal setting. And I feel like it's a lot harder to do something like that with people that you know, because let's say you say something dumb. This is like damn, bro, that was goofy. Like, why would you even say that? Because there's people there's people you don't know. It's like whatever. So I feel like when I was preparing for it over there at Velocity, it was a lot harder in the sense that these were people that I know, and like you kind of like you're trying to be super serious, and like how it is when you're with your friends. Like it's hard to do something serious with like some of your friends, but
Yep.
then once I got to the formal interview, it became it was a lot easier. I was a little bit nervous at first, but then they gave me good advice, and I was able to do it over there really well, and then I just transferred it over there to the formal.
How did they get you, like you said, being at Velocity and being around people that you know? How did that help you be around people that you don't know? To go into that a little bit deeper.
It helped me a lot because I didn't really know them too well at first, but I'm the type of guy and personality, but like over time, I'm gonna be good friends with everybody wherever I'm at. So like it definitely helped me a lot because I mean at first I didn't really know too many people, really know a lot of people over there, but then over time I just got to know them, and then we all became really good friends. And then just the preparation that they put me through with like learning the playbook and then able to talk ball in front of all of them. It was because I feel like it was a lot harder because these are people you know. So like it's harder when you're doing people you don't know. You don't want to mess up. But when it's people you know,
Yeah.
you should see if you don't mess up because they're teaching this to you, and it's like damn, like I'm not trying to make it seem like I wasn't paying attention, or like these also like some of them are like one of my really good friends, and it's like damn, I'm not trying to sound goofy because they're gonna tell me like yeah, like you sounded goofy, So it's like when you're working with your friends, it's easier working with your friends, but also harder at the same time because you don't want to because your friends will tell you what it is.
Right. They're going to tell you the truth, right? They're going to be honest with you. They're going to give you some notes. If you're surrounded by people that are not yes men or yes women, they're going to tell you the real. They're going to say, "Yeah, we don't understand what you're saying, or that doesn't make sense, or that's not right, or let's figure this out." So, was there any question that stuck with you? Because I've had guys go to the combine and the one that sticks out to me the most is I think somebody told me the Cleveland Browns were like, how much can you do with a paperclip? Like, give me everything that you can do with a paperclip. So, did you have any like off the beaten path questions where you had to stop and really think, like, okay, that's got nothing to do with football? Did you have any of those?
Yeah, so like me, I'm not good with definitions. So like I could I could tell you what a word is.
Yeah.
I'm like one of the guys who would define it by using the word because like I know a lot of times, like, there's a lot of words that people know, like we know, but we just can't define. But we know what it is, and I can tell you a perfect example of the word. So they asked me, like, so what does grit mean to you? And now when I was not, I was like I was trying to put it in a sense where like put it in my play and like things like that. Like it's a word that like you've never actually searched up, but you know what it is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'll probably say that one.
So when they asked you like what's grit and you're like I don't have an exact definition, how did you convey it to them?
I just try to explain it like with basically just like the way you play like grit is like honestly is like I explained it like an example like Dennis Rodman he played with grit. Like Amar Ross St. Brown, he plays with a lot of grit and intensity, and I try to explain and tie it into like how I play as well.
So coming off combine time and all that, pro day and whatnot, did you get to speak with multiple teams more than once? Like, was there a team you
Yeah,
saw at a one place and then it's like, hey, I saw them again and they came up to me and they're like, hey, Enrique, and they wanted to talk to you more?
there was multiple teams that at this point I spoke with about 4 to 5 times.
So, what can you say about those experiences? I understand going into the draft if you don't. Some people say the team, some don't. That's up to you. But what can you say about the multiple interactions, like what you took away from the teams that were coming up to you more than once?
Yeah, so it's actually pretty cool because so like you basically answer the same questions to like 7 different people. So like you're gonna start with the area scout, and then maybe the regional scout, and then maybe the area scout, and then you can work your way up to the coach, to the assistant coach, and then you can work your way up to the position coach, like the assistant online coach, and then the position, like the online coach. And then the beginning of it is always the same questions, like how's your family life, where are you from, and then it gets a lot deeper into football. So like the beginning ones are not necessarily be football. It's be more so just to get to know your personality and like ask you like a lot of questions about you. And then every meeting just gets more and more and more football related. So where they'll ask you like a couple questions about yourself, and then it'll be like an hour of just talking ball, explaining your film, and learning their plays.
Have you gotten to do any workouts?
Yeah.
Is there anything you want to share about any teams that you feel you've had really good experiences with?
Yeah. I had a good experience with a lot of teams so far. About like I've spoken to all 32
Okay.
teams, and I've had a good experience like 10 of them. Really messed with me.
Are you confident in what's been said? You went through the recruiting process. You know, some people lie, some people tell the truth. You've gone through the transfer portal. You know, some people lie, some people tell the truth. So you've had experience with the business side of things before you even became a part of this business called the NFL. So do you feel from the conversations you've had that people are being real with you now that you've had the experience of real versus fake?
Yeah, I do. And also, I'll contact my agent. My agent will tell me what the real is. I have a really good agent, and he lets me know like what like the real conversation behind the scenes are. So sometimes it's a business at the end of the day, and it's also competing with like you said, hundreds of guys. So I just gotta you gotta take it for what it is, and at the end of the day, I'm one of those people where I'm a believer once I see it. So like once I see whatever team picks me, or like whatever is getting said, and it happens, then that's when I'm fully gonna like fully believe it. Because right now I don't want to get my hopes up too much.
I fully understand this, and I know some people like, fans will be like, "Why don't you ask the specific?" I was like, because I'm trying to protect the fact that you're going into the draft. There's 32 teams, so I'm always looking at protecting you above giving people the information because I want you to be able to do what you need to do, and I'm always looking out for the player side of things. This is what I will ask you because it allows you to answer the question without answering the question. North, south, east, west, middle of the country, where do you feel there's a vibrant beacon of like we really like Enrique? Where what parts of the country have you felt like, oh, okay, I could see myself there. I got some good relationships there. Without saying the place, say the place, essentially.
Okay, everywhere. Like there's been teams all there's been certain teams in every part of the country and every conference that's been like that.
Have you seen something from a team or two that just really made you believe like Have you envisioned yourself in a jersey? Like, have you seen
Yeah,
that yet?
yeah, I have.
So,
A couple.
a couple of them.
Yeah,
So, I mean, I'm excited. You can tell me off the air, but but I'm excited about this. And obviously, I mean, you know this, and I'm sure your agent would tell you this too. Is you got to keep it to your vest because you don't want to say something that affects something getting out there that affects a team looking at another team going, oh, we didn't even know that you were looking at that position and we draft two ahead of you. You know what I mean? So it's like this constant movement that's going on amongst all these teams. But what have you learned in the process, I guess, going off of that? Talking to an agent, having an agent, going through all of this, having your team of people that are working you out. What have you learned about how to kind of tackle what's happening, go about conversations? Because you're, every step you take, you're working towards something, right? And you want the dominoes to fall the right way. So, what have you learned about the business side of things, having an agent, going through these meetings, talking to these teams? What have you learned from that?
well, first I'll say like I'm blessed. I had a lot of mentors who directed me in the right directions. I feel like I've had a lot of I met a lot of teammates. I've met a lot of other players who weren't as prepared as I was when I was. I got my agent as soon as I ended my season, and we kind of went forward from there, and we kind of kept on advancing little by little. I know a lot of people who kind of got their agents really late, and they're really good players, but they missed a lot of amazing opportunities, such as all-star games and potentially even combine invites, just because they didn't really have the right people guiding them in that way to where they can advance. Because I just learned that the business is like any other business, it's very political. It's kind of about who you know. It's about what you can do too, but it's kind of about like who you know, because it's a very political business. And I'm just glad that I was put in the right direction for that. And I mean, I learned a lot. You just gotta really just keep your head straight and just not. You can't talk too much. You can't say too much at all sometimes, and you just gotta just go with the flow.
What have you learned about the media? You and I have talked about this before. You got to talk with them in different settings, the combine, obviously, and what. So, what have you learned about how you answer the media?
Well, I mean, I remember you taught me this a long time ago at Syracuse after, I forgot what it was, but you were like, yo, they're gonna try to stump you. They're gonna try asking you questions and like try to get you to say something you don't want to say. So I mean, ever since that, I took that and I understood what you were trying to tell me. So I take my time to answer a lot of questions to make sure that I'm not sounding wrong or like trying to fall into the trap that they want to play. And I met a lot of cool media people. I met the combine. I didn't really have too much media, but people who were there, they're really good. I mean, I had a great time. But really, just show my personality because I mean, I have a pretty cool, like a pretty cool personality where I can talk to people. I'm pretty goofy, but also not say too much at the same time.
No. Well, you know, looking out is important to me. And I know how honest and open and, how good of a human being you are. And so I always want to make sure that the people that are around you respect that. And if you're around people that you can't choose and they don't respect that, that you know how to respect yourself in that room. Because, you know, I don't want anybody to be, I call it the beehive. I don't want anybody getting stung in the beehive. So,
No, yeah, 100% sure. Not everybody is as cool as you are. Where like you said, you're not trying to stump us, but like you're still asking like good questions that aren't really like trying to get us to say something. A lot of these people they're asking you very loaded questions, but the problem is about it is that you have a little bit of time to actually answer the question. But what people like don't tell you is that you could take your time answering the question. You don't have to blur it out right away. You could take a couple seconds, think about what they're really trying to ask you, and then answering the question accordingly.
yeah, well, you know, I'm happy for you. I'm happy how you've grown. I'm happy what you've become. I hope your ears ring because I talk about I mean, I know you're excited for April 23rd to the 25th, but like wherever you're at, I'm like here. So, I mean, I'm outrageously excited for you because, every good thing coming to you by the grace of God, I know you're going to take care of it. So I'm going to bring Brendan back on for the last few minutes here. We're going to play some rapid fire. We're going to do a round robin. So I'll ask Enrique. Enrique, I'll ask Brendan. Brendan will ask me, and then we'll go back. So my question for you, Enrique, we've spent a lot of years talking about running on a presidential ticket together. So I figured it out that, I can run first because of my age, right? I'm a little bit older than Enrique. So I get to run, and he's my VP. We run, we win. We get a second term. That's 8 years. Now he's older. We flip it. He runs. I'm his VP. So we get 16 years in the White House. So my question to you, Enrique, is what music are people going to hear when they drive by Pennsylvania Avenue in the White House when you and I are there as president and VP? What type of music are they going to hear? And the second thing that I'll ask you is, what's the first thing that you would want to do when you and I stand at the podium?
Okay, so the music, I mean, it depends it's the time of the year. If it's in June, it's straight Puerto Rican music. It's Father's Day is like it's where all the Puerto Rican parades are and stuff like that, like in New York and Chicago. So if it's over there, straight Puerto Rican music. Besides that, a little bit of everything. We can't discriminate. I like all types of music. And the first thing, it's a great question. Um, I don't know. We might have to make Chicago the capital. Might have to change it up.
No more DC. We're going to Chicago. So I like it. I'm sure all the Chicago, the Chicagoans, I think is how you say it. I think everybody out in Chicago, Illinois has got to be appreciating that right now. All right, Enrique, what's your question for Brendan?
What kind of car are you driving? Is that a pickup truck?
It is, yeah.
What's
What kind?
what'd you say?
I said, what kind of pickup truck?
It's a Colorado, Chevy Colorado, smaller one.
Okay. Yeah, I've been looking. I don't know. I feel like I need a pickup truck because I'm big, but like I don't know. I'm a city boy, so I'm like I don't know. That's my vibe right now. But I kind of want a pickup truck. I don't know yet.
It would kind of depend on what city you end up in. I mean, if you end up
Yeah.
somewhere in the Northeast like, let's just say you end up in like New England or Buffalo or Detroit, where you're going to get some snow, having a pickup truck's not a bad idea to get yourself to the stadium once you hit October.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I think but you and I have talked about Great Lakes Honda City. My dad loves his Ridge line. So,
Hey,
that's,
shout out Great Lakes. Also, shout out to the Wildcat. I've had some amazing food over there at the Wildcat. Shout out SyraCruz Tailgate. They put me on. We always used to go to Wildcat all the time. I brought some of my online buddies there all the time. My family there. It's a great spot.
yeah, you said shout out to the Wildcat. Danny Tome, good friend of mine, and one of my longest partnerships. We're heading into like a full 9 years. So, what did you get there? Because I brought Brendan there. When Brendan comes into town, he's like, take me to your places. And I brought him to the Wildcat. Brendan says nothing but good things about it, too. What was your favorite thing to get there, Enrique? It's not my question, but I'm just asking.
They call it the Wildcat wings, right?
Yeah, with the
The
Wildcat
Wildcat sauce.
sauce? Yeah.
Fire. I'll get that. I'll get the pizza. I remember one time I brought it was like I brought the whole line there. And then they hooked it up. I mean, we had like 130 wings. We had like 7 pizzas, and all linemen, we feasted.
Well, I could tell you this. I, we have a lot of things in common, you and I, but the Wildcat wings, that's exactly when you were saying it, that's what I thought of. I was like, man, they mix all the
Oh yeah.
sauces together. It's so good. I get it on the boneless, but they're amazing. I know Danny and his team are gonna appreciate the fact that you showed them some love, Enrique, and that you went out there and that you brought the O line out there too is pretty amazing. But I'm gonna be there tonight. I have a live show tonight, so in honor of you and Murph, I will eat some food in your honor today.
So also, I want to say this because a lot of people in Syracuse were mad at me. Syracuse has good food. They have amazing, because I said it somewhere else that Kansas had better food. Syracuse is a place where you gotta find your spots.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you
Yeah.
find your spots like a Wildcat. I used to go to Sassy Q's. I used to go to this gas station and get some chicken wings. That was fire too. But once you find your spots, the food is fire. Kansas just had a lot more well-known spots, so it's a little bit easier.
Yeah.
for me being there for 6 months. I was in Syracuse for 4 or 5 years. So like, it was a lot. It was easier once I got older, but when I first got there, I had no car. It was just Chipotle for a long time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because you were close to campus, but once you get to Syracuse is one of the best places for food. And I love it. And Murph can attest to it because I bring him to spots. He likes his beers, he likes, his local stuff, what's on tap, his food, whatnot. So he can speak to that as well. But yeah,
Yeah.
to clear the air,
Literally,
Enrique likes the food in Syracuse too.
yes, you got to find your spots. One thing I didn't like is that all the food spots close at 10. So if you
Yeah.
have no food in the house at past 10, you're not door dashing, nothing. You have to go to sleep hungry and wake up in the morning to eat. That's probably the only thing I didn't like. Other than that, once you find your spots, you find your spots.
Let me tell you something. Boricuas, they're having dinner at 3 in the morning. So,
I eat all times of the day.
listen, I was having tacos. I mean, you're having all kind. There's tortillas. I mean, like at any given, like you're eating all day. You're eating all day long. It's dark. Like people are sleeping. You're having a party outside. You're eat. That's what I liked. I was like, I'm eating taco dip. I don't even know what time it is because time meant nothing. When you are with a Puerto Rican family, you are in a time warp, and there is no such thing as time. So, all right, Murph, what's your question for me?
Oh man, I've been trying to think about this, but I had to take a detour. Um, so you guys have obviously talked about your presidential ticket,
Yeah.
potentially two presidential tickets. Um, what would so first of all, year in terms of when it's going to be, obviously it's going to probably be about another 10, 10 plus years from now. Because in order to be vice president, you got to be able to assume the presidency. So Enrique's got to be at least 35. So obviously you'll have that. You asked Enrique what the first thing you guys are going to do at the podium is. I want to know what your first thing is going to be. Your first order of business as president of the United States is what?
And my first order of business. First and foremost, I step to the podium. I thank God. Second thing I do is I thank my grandparents and my parents. Third thing I do is, so all of y'all that had a problem with me, I know where you live. so, so I'd be like, yeah, so first and foremost, no. But no, the first thing I would do when I I would step to the podium and I would say to everybody that loves me, thank you. To everybody that hated me, thank you. Because the love helped to get me here, but the hate did too. And I would say my first order of business, man, I got so many things that I would want to do. My first order of business, I got funny ones and I got real ones. Let me do a real one. So I would, man, I would work on gas and I'd probably put a cap on gas. I'd probably tell every state we can't go past this certain point. And that's probably what I do. I'd probably cap gas somewhere, and then I'd start drilling where I got to drill and doing what I got to do. Listen, we've been around long enough. Yeah, there's oil in the Middle East, and there's a lot of it, but we've been around long enough that we can discover other ways to do things or tap into other places because I don't want to rely. Listen, relying on the most unreliable part of the world is insane. So I would definitely want to change that up and say, why am I going to constantly put myself and the people in my country at the mercy of people that genuinely don't seem to care? So I would do something with gas immediately and let it be known that I don't mess around. And once again, we don't negotiate with terrorists. So that's what I would say.
Fair point.
My question back to you, Murph. If you were in my cabinet, what job would you want? If Enrique's my VP and we're all sitting in the room, what job do you want? And why?
I mean, I can't be Speaker of the House because technically that's third in line for the presidency. So I would have to be elected for that. I would say Secretary of War, because nobody's going to mess with us. I don't want anybody messing with us. And I think as Secretary of War, we can scare everybody off with that.
Yeah, I don't think I'd ever have to like force Murph to push the big red button.
I don't think you would have to either.
Yeah, no. I think I believe that you have to show your strength. Kindness is not weakness. So I think, yeah, I think I would never have to push the button, but I most certainly would let people know that I'm not afraid to. So I think that would be, yeah, I could see you as the secretary of that. I thought you would pick that. All right, what's your question for Enrique, Murph?
Ooh. Um, well, first of all, I mean, I probably could guess what the answer to it's a two-part question. I could probably guess the answer to the first one, but I'm going to ask it anyway, just in case the folks at home don't know. Who was your team growing up? I think I know the answer already. And if there's any player, past or present, that you would want to go up against to protect your QB, who is it? And do you think you could take them out?
Okay, so my team growing up was the Bears. Big
Naturally, I
Bears,
figured that.
big Bears guy. Not anymore though. Used to be.
Now you're
And
a fan of whoever picks you in the draft,
yep,
right?
whoever picks me is I'm a fan of.
Yeah.
And past or present I go against. Um, I really want to go against like JJ Watt. I heard he was a beast.
Ooh,
Yeah, I heard he was a monster, and of course I'm sad I could take him. It
yeah.
has confidence you got to walk into that, but nah, I've been watching a lot of him, and nah, he was a dog.
Okay.
That dude was something special.
He definitely was.
Yeah.
Him and his brother.
Yeah, JJ and TJ. All right, Mr. VP.
How excited are you for that new basketball hire? I mean, my stepdad was ecstatic. He was ecstatic on that new hire for the head coach of the Syracuse men's basketball team. How ecstatic are you about this hire?
I am very, very excited. And I'm actually looking at this right now. Like literally while you were asking me, Syracuse just officially announced that Ryan Daly, Ben Lee, and Arinze Onawaku have joined the Syracuse staff, according to Jerry McNamara. So we
So
know.
it's been a full clean house.
What'd you say?
He cleaned full house.
So yeah, they cleaned house, and we want to thank Murph for being here. I know he's jumping off the call, but we want to thank Murph for
Thanks,
being
Murph.
here. So
Yeah,
appreciate
sorry
you.
I got to run. I got to hop onto a work call. But Enrique, it was awesome talking with you. Best of luck. Looking forward to hearing your name called in the draft, and best of luck going forward.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Have a good day.
You
Yeah,
too,
coming.
man.
Thank you,
Thanks.
Murph. Appreciate you as always. Be safe. So
Appreciate
with
it, bud.
yeah, of course, man. We'll talk to you soon. So yeah, how excited am I? I'm very excited. I'm excited because I've known Jerry. I met him in 2008, and we've known each other for a really long time. So I'm really excited because personally, I like the man that he is. I like the way he's been. He's been consistent with me. I like how much he cares about his family. I like that he's not afraid to show that. And I just feel like he's the right coach. I've said repeatedly, and I put it out publicly, how I felt about all of this. And, I've been saying for a long time why he was, in my opinion, if there was going to be a coaching change from Adrian Autry, that this was the only logical move.
I
So,
mean, yeah, he proved himself. I feel like,
yeah.
well, first of all, he's a legend over there. So growing up, Syracuse is actually one of my favorite basketball teams because Carmelo Anthony was one of my favorite players. So
Yeah.
I always recuse. But yeah, I always knew about Jerry, and I'm excited for him. And yeah, I mean, he proved himself. He definitely proved he was worthy. I mean, they almost beat Duke. I mean, with the team he had, almost beating Duke, and now he's at a bigger level where he's able to acquire more talent and stuff. Not saying the other guys weren't talented, but just acquire more talent at the P5 level. I feel like he can do a lot of good things over there.
Yeah, no. So, I mean, it's definitely huge. And the thing that's really ironic here, and it's crazy, is that Syracuse won the national championship with Jerry McNamara over Kansas, and you played for both teams in football.
It's actually ironic because when I was there, a lot of our tutors, I mean, like everyone, Kansas has a really big fan base. Like everyone who lives in Kansas, like diehard Kansas fans.
Yeah.
I used to talk my stuff though, like what happened in '03. But then they'll hit me with the, well, we beat D Rose, and D Rose is my favorite player. Someone's like,
Yeah.
dang. So it's like, no, you can talk like, damn, what happened in 03, and then they'll hit me with that, well, we beat D Rose, and I'll be like, oh,
Yeah.
can't say no.
Hey, listen. Your love for Cuse does not go underappreciated or unrepresented, especially not here on this show. Enrique Cruz Jr. So yeah, to answer your question, I'm ecstatic. I'm happy for a friend, and I'm happy overall for somebody that has earned the right to be there. And speaking of earn the right to be there, I firmly believe that you have worked your tail off. You will continue to. I know you will take no days off en route to the NFL draft. I'm going to ask you this on camera, and you can tell me no, because I always want you to be honest, and you have been the whole time we've known each other. There was an invitation for me to come out to Chicago from you. Does that invitation still stand, is the question.
Well, of course.
So I'm going to be in the house with the fam.
Well, everybody, I mean, it's going to be a lot of people over there. Come on.
I was like, wait a minute. Like, I've had honors in my life. I've had, like, a friend gets drafted. I pick up the phone. I call him. He answers. But I've never been in the room where the phone call comes in.
100%. Come on. What you gotta do is you don't text me about it. You gotta text my mom or my stepdad. They're the ones who answer. You know me. Anybody watching this, I'm sorry. I'm a terrible texter. It's hard. I'm a terrible texter. I have like 500 unread messages right now. I'm I'm bad at it, but text my mom or my stepdad. We'll make it happen.
Well, all I'm saying is, if and when I'm in that room and that phone call comes in, you got all these people around you that love you, me included. I am jumping in the air and supermaning so that I could be the first one to like put my arms around your neck and be like, Enrique. So, but I gotta. I know there's all that love in that room, but I'm gonna have to do something. Somebody's gonna have to airlift me above all the people. I'm short, but we'll figure it out. Enrique Cruz Jr., Kansas Jayhawks, Syracuse Orange as well. 2026 NFL draft prospect, offensive lineman who has heard from teams all around the country, scouts all around this beautiful nation, and 32 NFL franchises. I firmly believe his name will be called in just a couple weeks, and I look forward to the opportunity of sharing that with someone I have considered a little brother for a long time. Enrique, as always, thank you for everything that you do, and thank you for me being one of those text messages that you answered. I appreciate that.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
Hey, man, I'll talk to you soon. God bless.
Yes, sir. Have a good one.